What is the, what is the melody?
Yeah, nice. Yeah, it still shows down for me though. I don't know. It shows.
It came back on Twitch. It just stopped on YouTube though.
Oh, all right.
Dang it. And that means we lost all the chat.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. I don't know what happened there. I think I did close something. Sorry about that. Sorry about the.
The cool thing about Twitch versus YouTube live streaming is that Twitch came back up on the same. Yeah, it picked back up, but live YouTube went to another one. So now it says live contiguous array. Oh wait, no, that's me watching something else. Never mind.
One of these days we're gonna get this.
One day I'll learn how to use the internet. Until then.
Yeah, we're multi-streaming. This is the first time ever multi-streaming, so I don't know what happened there. I think what happened is it failed to tweet, and so I closed the window, and then that's when it kind of like shut down. And we can see my mistake on camera. Yay. We'll have a retrospective afterwards. Blameless postmortem.
Blameless? Really?
Yeah.
I'm just kidding. I don't know. I'm not the one running the OBS, but yeah, blameless. We'll go with that.
Yeah.
Just kidding. All right, I gotta figure out why this why I can't scaffold run.
Are you getting the same error that I'm getting?
What are you getting?
I forget.
No, I think your problem was related to your Kubernetes environment, right?
I think so.
Oh wait, you have a 4th repo. I don't have that one.
Yeah, I just saw it. I don't know if it's necessary. It's the stable
repo
it's the new location.
Stable HTTPS.
You know, any minute now I should be hitting that Docker rate limit. I think that's going around.
Oh yeah. Man, I hate that we lost everybody from the YouTube chat.
Yeah.
That sucks.
That's awful.
And there's no way to like communicate with them to say like, oh hey, our bad, we goofed.
I don't think so.
It just like shows up as like we decided to bail.
Yeah. Yeah, that stinks. I don't think we can do anything about it. By the way, my environment is fixed, so it actually was just the Helm thing. It's just the error message was kind of misleading. So I'm gonna go ahead and check this in, so that if you pool, the README now has all the repos in it.
Okay.
And work on cleaning up that language a little bit. And you know, speaking of Mag by God, he got me using GitLens.
Whoa! Are you? No.
I know this is a recent
thing. I see you
thing.
clicking.
This is a recent thing, yeah. Mad Viking God made me install this. He forced me to install it.
Oh, hey, good. Spare brain came back. Sorry, there. We had a little technical difficulty, and our YouTube and Twitch streams went down for a moment. So apologies there.
Totally not my fault.
Jay-Z's just giving me his excuses about why he has switched away from using Git via the command line, and he's using some lame GUI tool. Go ahead and click around, sir.
Mad Viking God made me. He made me try it, and I realized that it was so much easier and better.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I know.
I can't take you guys serious.
Yeah, but now I'm using tiptoeing my way to using a UI for Kubernetes too. Yeah, so I don't know. I'm kind of scared to go back to Minikube. So I don't know if that Minikube error was similar at all to what you were hitting.
No, I mean I can send you a screenshot. Oh wait, where am I?
Stream jittery.
If I
hopefully that was just it shutting down. Hopefully it's back now. So sorry about that. I need to get another monitor so I can read chat better. Just if I could see it.
Yeah, I'll take another gaming monitor. Yeah, sure. Why not?
Yeah, I mean, it just needs to happen. If I could just pop this thing out, switch to non-mod, pop out.
Oops.
Yeah. I don't know what I'm doing.
So, if if you're in the Twitch chat, oh man, I'm not signed in. Oh.
You're not signed in to Twitch. You should be signed in to Twitch all the time.
Yeah, this is on that new build though.
So we did get everything back up and running. You can see what is port forwarding down below. We got Django, we got Elastic, we got Postgres. I don't see Prometheus, which is kind of weird. It should be in here. Let's see what K9s has to say. Oh, I think I have Lens installed too. Lens is pretty good. Actually Lens is really good. I think it can be slow sometimes, but the slowness isn't because of Lens. It's because sometimes running kubectl commands like in big environments or environments that are like far away and you're like double hopping through Bastion servers to get to, that can be just hard to see. Oh my gosh. Looks like my K9s is still not quite right. Yeah, I just can't connect the cluster. So I don't know what's up with that. I guess K9s just isn't gonna work.
Huh. So I put it in the YouTube chat there, the error.
Okay, hey, what's up? Long time listener. Yeah, I literally cannot read the name. There we go. Build push access to specified image repository. Default repo flag. Man. Well, I cannot read your name, long time podcast listener, but thank you.
That's Spare Brain.
Oh, Spare Brain. Nice. All
yeah.
Right. Well, thank you. Thanks for stopping by. It's awesome.
And there's I put the scaffold.dev URL in their chat as well.
And I hope my environment is not borked again. Because I assumed it was because I started Minikube, but now I don't know.
You know what we need to do for the future, Joe? Which would be easier.
What's that?
Is just have like all of our chat, just try to drive all the chat back to Slack. And then that way we have one place to chat with everybody, regardless of how they're watching.
The thing about Slack though, is that if I have Slack open, you can see like little snippets of like private messages and stuff. And sometimes there's like top secret classified stuff in there.
Top secret.
Yep. Man,
that
check
makes
it out.
sense.
I'm busted again. My Kubernetes down. Kubernetes down.
Well, you're further along than I am with it.
Yeah, let's see what happened here.
I'm still getting.
I like how we're like an hour in and we like haven't started on what we were gonna start doing.
I know, right?
Welcome to Coding Blocks.
I mean, I'm still getting that same build, that no push access to image repository. Where are we trying to do something that would want to push?
I mean, it should be your local Docker image repository, and you're running the Kubernetes cluster in Docker. I don't know, Ubuntu.
What was that question? I mean, I do have Docker running, and I can see other. So here, if I do a Docker system prune, right? Wipe everything out Docker related, then do a Docker image ls. I have nothing there. Now, if I go back and run Skaffold again, Skaffold run, it's going to build a bunch of stuff. Pull, verify, download, build.
I think it's because for me when I started up K9s, I think it tried to talk to Minikube again, which I think is what made things go funky.
So it did build things. So like I'm assuming you one of the Docker images you built was called API.
Yep.
So let me go look at our
Oh
code.
yeah, that's why. It swapped my context. Okay, yeah, so Minikube is not working for me. So okay, so the deal with so sorry, I've been getting all sorts of pre-show. So the deal with kubectl context and Kubernetes context is basically you can be hooked up to multiple clusters at once, but for the most part, you are going to only be dealing with one at a time by setting your context. And I think there are ways, command lines, you could pass the context in as just an argument to whatever command you're running to use that one explicitly, but that is a lot of typing, that in the namespace. So it's common to set your context to basically default to a certain cluster and a certain namespace. And in this case, the namespace is blank, so it's going to literally be the word default. So right now I'm hooked up to the Minikube context. So it means anytime I do like kubectl get pause or get node that's trying to use Minikube, and that isn't working for me. So I need to basically set my context back to Docker desktop. And even though I use the S word, this is a pet peeve of mine, you do not want to set the context. Set context changes information in it. You want to kubectl config use context Docker desktop. There is a set context, but forget I mentioned it.
And to spare Brain's comment there, I'm using micro K8s, not Minikube.
Oh, really? Okay.
So, but I did to your point about it getting mutilated, I did double check to make sure that my micro K8s is up and running, and it is. But yeah, I think to the mutilated comment, it might still be related to the problems I had with K9s last night. Hey, I don't know how you pronounce that. Scientistic? No.
This really is like the show.
Yeah. If you're a listener, you know I'm horrible at pronouncing these names. So, it's really no excuse, but I apologize.
Minikube. Yeah, it looks like my my Docker desktop context is goofed up too. So I think I'm just gonna try and get Docker desktop working because I had that working earlier today, and if we can get that working, I will not touch it, not touch anything else. Let's see.
If I go to kget pods,
we had a brief window of it working.
Kget service.
So I'm assuming bad things are happening to my kube config, just like you said.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know.
All right.
What if I were to...
I can't remember. There was something I did before to set up the Docker image repository locally and associate it with Minikube. I would think you would have to do the same thing with micropates, or K3s or K0s.
Hey Phil, how you doing?
Yo Phil.
Oh, so Sign says that most English speakers struggle with the pronunciation. So, I assumed that was supposed to be like some kind of fun name, like not a real name, but maybe it is a real name. Sign testic. Alan would be so much better at that name. He would see that name and immediately be like, "Oh yeah, I know how to pronounce that."
Yeah.
I struggle with it like I'm learning to read for the first time.
Alan's fine with everything. So it's nuts. He's just good at everything.
So what if I were to...
Alan, if you're out there. Where's Alan? We need to get Alan on one of these things. I guess I'm just giving up on seeing the chat, so I apologize. If you see me like leaning forward and squinting. It's because I'm trying to read what your name says. For whatever reason, I can read the chat fine. I just can't. I can't see the names very well.
I'm gonna do a reset on my K8s, my micro K8s, just to see if maybe that'll.
By the way, if you're not used to Kubernetes development, this is kind of the way. You can spend a lot of time on doing stuff like this. It can be frustrating, but when it all works, it's amazing. And yeah, cool. I'm back up. My Kubernetes cluster is fixed for local. Check that out like this. Okay. And I'm just not even going to try K9s again just because that seems like it's been poisoning my environment somehow.
I mean, I hate to blame that, but I swear that I had my environment working.
Yeah.
Until we were like, hey, let's play with this K9s thing. And then everything got weird. But it seems so unlikely that like that thing could mess anything up.
Yeah.
Because there's not, it's just a wrapper, right?
Yeah.
So it seems unlikely.
So you might be able to do, sorry, I can't see your name. But somebody suggested microcates reset, which is kind of like the Docker reset that I just, Docker Kubernetes reset that I just did. That fixed me up.
Yeah, Spare Brain was asking the same question. I guess you're referring to microcates reset having the same effect as the minikube delete and restart.
Yeah.
Which I think yes, Spare Brain, I think you're right. Hopefully that will be all I need to do.
Yeah, let me try this. Okay, hey, look, I can kind of see chat. But oh no, this is going to look terrible for everybody else. Alright, sorry. Getting meta again. I'll turn off the chat that way, and then I'll show the screen here. And then we'll be good. Alright, so here we go. One of these days. This is Agile, right?
Am I doing it right?
Definitely doing it right. There we go. So look at that beautiful chat. Hey, thanks for the follow. Oh, it surprises me. There we go. Oh man, what? Ah, okay, I hate computers. Happy Sunday. Why are we doing this on our day off again? Just kidding. What's better than this? Oh man.
Yeah, we like pain.
Yeah. So what are we doing here? So we've got should we just wipe this out and start from the beginning? Like in terms of like building back up from creating a Docker image and whatnot?
Yeah, sure. I'm up for anything at this point, man. Like I'm trying.
We don't have to. Maybe yeah, I don't know. Any suggestions out there, TV land? We can wipe this all and basically build it back up, kind of creating Docker containers, running out through Kubernetes. That was kind of the original plan. Creating Helm charts. Yeah.
It might be necessary at this point. What have we got here?
No. Oh, well, I'm running.
Oh, hey, great. We get some spam.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So, hey, I want to be famous, so I'm gonna go buy some. I'm gonna click on that. It looks safe.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna get us some more followers. Hold on one second. Let me
add the cart.
Hey, I need your social security number, Joe.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Oh God, it's doing my computer now. Something's running. I don't know. I didn't do that.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding.
I don't remember my social. Can you just Google for it?
Yeah, right.
Sure, it's out there. And yeah, so it's like, yeah, time off. Time off is precious. Yeah, I think multi-streaming is probably just not good. Lesson learned.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, streaming it again.
What'd you do on Twitch? Did you just drop off of Twitch?
That's what it looks like. Which means we lost it on YouTube again, too. I got a message saying my internet was unstable.
I mean, I still see us on YouTube. so far.
Yeah, okay, that's good. All right, and yeah, I don't know what happened there.
We'll get better at it. This is like new territory.
Yeah, saw the viewer count dropped. So yeah, the broadcast just ended. And I'm refreshing now. All right, looks like we're back. Sorry, I don't know what's going on there. I don't know. My internet's
Twitch streaming professionals, we are not.
Man, you remember for a while there, I was giving you crap about your internet and how it was being flaky.
Oh man, I don't even want to talk bad about it right now because it could go at any time.
Yep. Knock on wood.
So, I issued this K8's reset, micro K8's reset a while ago, and it's still like thinking, and I'm thinking it's not really doing anything.
Yeah, you'd think that would be fast. You would think.
I'm wondering if it was something I should have just ran in the background.
What's the difference between running in the background or just opening a new tab?
Well, what I mean though is that like if I just issued the command, and then like that's it's currently tied to it waiting.
I see.
Yeah, it's part of that active shell.
Okay.
For input output.
I see.
Or a terminal maybe would be a better word to say. So I'm doing it again, but with an ampersand to just throw it to the background, and then that way, if it does restart as part of that, then my current shell isn't tied to it.
Yep. Okay. Okay, so looks like we didn't get any suggestions on what we should be doing. So
yeah, let's start over.
Okay, so I'm just gonna do it in a whole nother folder, everything. I'm gonna reset the context. That's true. The good news is I'm having fun. Hey. What is all this stuff? Oh man, maybe I have been hacked. Look at these names. Objective Swanson? That's not a real person. I love whenever this started, I don't know when that started, people started using like cute names instead of like just hashes for things. I think I would like get a lot better if they swapped to using cute names instead of hashes.
Oh no.
Like git commit, like cherry pick my hungry hippos or something.
Said no one ever.
Yeah. And look how big this screen is.
All right, let's see.
I set my resolution down for streaming and like, look, it's giant. I can't shrink it either. This is just how big it is forever now.
Yeah, Jamie, I might just do that. Like he says to nuke, tips for starting over, just nuke it and start all over. Yeah, I honestly might do that. Docker with board game names.
Yes.
Or cereal snack names.
Yes. Oh man. So I have Jaffa cakes coming. I think they're gonna show up today, and I have hot sauce. Hey, thanks for the follow. I have hot sauce to use. I didn't get to see the follow name though, so thank you. Say hello if you feel like it. If not, that's fine too. But yeah. And Jamie, so we talked about this, Jamie. So apparently, Jaffa cakes with habanero hot sauce is the thing to try. Oh, I've heard this from a fellow UKer, so. It's true. Squidge is
abomination.
Squidge
it sounds like it.
Yeah, it's gonna be good. I like abominations. All right. Yeah. So starting this whole thing over. So I'm just gonna go to another folder that I already set up here.
Phil is questioning your life decisions there, Joe.
Me too, Phil. Me
Rightfully so, I would say.
For sure. So I'm not gonna touch canines. So we're getting better. All right. So we have no pods in our namespace. Utopia.
Right, but we're going to start with a whole new project,
all
right?
Hey, welcome back, Spare Brains / Utopia will happen. All right, so we've got nothing, and we have no We have nothing. This is a brand new project. We've got a brand new cluster running.
And because he's Spare Brain said he had to drop on YouTube, so that's why he came back on Twitch.
Ah, okay, cool. Because we keep ruining YouTube, so.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've got a README, and so first thing we want to create a web service. You think we want to do like .NET, or we want to do Django, or?
I have zero preference. So
yes, Docker. Everything has been cleared.
Yeah.
Mods.
Yeah, I did a Docker system prune all. Yep, exactly that command that Jamie just shared in the Twitch. Although he did the shortcut of -a instead of --all.
Yeah, so the only
I
service
think
I
I prefer the more explicit version.
Yeah. Docker system prune is great. Is even better. It'll delete your images. So I probably should have done that. This will save some time downloading. So let's see if I have .NET installed.
Oh yeah.
So I have 3.1 installed. How embarrassing is that?
Well, that's okay. On Ubuntu, I don't. So if we're gonna go .NET, let me go ahead and get that installed in the background.
All right, I think we should do .NET.
And then
I should probably go ahead and upgrade to 5. So I'll go ahead and start that downloading. I don't know if the installer is going to make me restart.
We'll find out.
Oh yeah, I am running WSL. .NET in the house. Woo -woo. Yeah, so I haven't figured out how to tell where like Firefox downloads stuff very easily. And there's the file. I don't know where it put it. Okay, uh-oh, screen flickering. I mean, I doubt it would crash the stream, right?
I mean, what's the chances?
Yeah.
All right, here we go.
Yep, I don't have VS Full. I don't even know if I have it. Oh, I do have it. All right. Do I have Writer installed? I don't. Downloads, okay. I'm always scared to delete things from my downloads folder.
Not me.
Yeah, so I don't see it in downloads. Oh yeah, there it is. Okay, yeah, good call. All right, word up. Okay, no need for the SDK. Just need the JDK. All right, hey, no restart. So now if I do .NET version 5, okay. Boom. So maybe create a new folder called, or maybe .NET create will create a folder. Is it worth trying?
Sure, go for it.
All right. Yeah, there's nothing else in here, so we can just move it. It doesn't. So I think it's see if I remember .NET new, and then web. Did I do that right?
Okay.
Okay, it did put it at the top level. That's okay.
All right, I have .NET installed on
Now,
Ubuntu.
do you remember how to run? Is it just .NET run? .NET build?
Man, if it's not YAML, who knows anymore? I think it's YAML dash compile. Wait,
YAML.
no, that's not right.
Subdirectory. Okay, yeah, so I didn't do a name, did I? Do web API. Yeah, I think I might do web API instead. Like, I don't know. We'll see. So what do we get here?
Oh, Jamie's got one for you in the chat.
Yeah, I think that's
.NET
better.
web API dash name.
Yeah, because this is like pretty bare bones here, so let's do that. All right, Jamie, you're awesome. You know what's funny? Jamie has helped me out on several streams now with different languages. Hey, what's up, Mad Viking God? Yeah, we Ran into some things. We've seen some things. Yeah. All right, .NET new, and we're doing Web API. Will Web API also get us something visual to look at? We'll find out.
I guess the question is, are you going to build a new repo and I'll just clone that? Otherwise, I'm going to just type in the same commands as we go.
Yeah, check it out. I will do that, and I will do it all via command line.
Oh, really?
Repo
hey.
new. Create. Oh, geez.
Look what failed. Yeah.
Getting it. All right, get repo create repository name. What do we call this? No good internet.
Oh, what do you want to call the repo?
Yeah.
Let's call it. Well, we're doing like K8s and Skaffold stuff, right?
Kubernetes Inferno.
Sure.
Kubernetes Inferno. It should have a good descriptive name like that, so people know.
I was definitely gonna call it like K8 stream day 1, but yeah, that's probably better.
Yeah, for sure. And hey, it's public. There we go. Yes.
So
Pair.
I'll just pull down what you're pushing up then.
All right. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and swap out for MVC. One fine Sunday. True. We can always rename it afterwards. Swap it for MVC. Okay. And get an MVC app. Let's do that. That'll just be a little bit more visual, I think. .NET new. New MVC.
Oh, it's actually called Pair though in GitHub.
Oh, sorry. Duh.
Yeah.
That's called Pair. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, it's called Pair. Skynet. Nice.
I was looking. I was like, not seeing. But it's empty. So, yeah. When you're ready, push.
Yep, we'll do. Touch readme. I need to probably make a license too, but ugh. I thought it might prompt me for that.
Spare Brain, aka Utopia, what happened says call it One Fine Sunday.
Yeah. Nice.
Or Skynet. Yeah, that'll work too.
Programming. Let's go Inferno. I should have named something I could spell. Kubernetes Inferno. It's Inferno.
Hey, it's Inferno.
Yeah, that's right. Good call. We got Skynet. Got live sharing. Oh
One Fine Sunday.
One Fine Sunday. Also Pair. Okay, cool. There we go. All right, off to a smashing start. So now we have an MVC site. So if we do .NET run inside www running, I have to Google for that. Whatever you want, license. There we go, WTFPL. Oh, I don't want to use the language. Oh no, we're gonna get banned from iTunes.
Well, this isn't going to iTunes.
That's true. It's on YouTube though. Not that it'll get banned, but I just try not to have the dirty words. That's why I talk so slow on the show sometimes, is because I'm trying not to use the dirty words, and sometimes that's all I can think of. All right, 2020, the year that shall not be named. All right, there we go. Oh, let's see. Are we running? So 5001. The host 5001.
That's 50,001.
There we go. That's funny. I guess I've never seen Firefox. Firefox's warning. Okay, so
sweet.
we go ahead and get this committed, and then we'll Dockerize it.
Yeah, sounds good.
All right.
And then I will pull that down.
Yep. Oh no. Oh no.
What?
I didn't create a git ignore.
Oh.
And I see that I should have used the UI. All right. So how do you undo a commit?
Do git space reset space capital head and then tilde.
Tilde 1.
You don't even have to do the one.
Git reset.
Ambiguous argument. Have you committed anything? Or did you just add?
I committed. This is why you should not do what I just did.
Go to. Like.
Yes. This is the initial commit. Can we revert?
Well, no, but I mean, since this is the very first one.
Oh, we'll just squash it.
No. Well, that's later if you wanted to, or you could just like delete your .git directory and start all over because this is the very first one. So who cares?
Yeah, that's true. And
but yeah, Mad Viking God, Aaron put the same one in there about git reset head, which, yeah, but like I said, because there's nothing to go back to, you can't reverse it.
Oh, I have it running right now. Let's see, let's try that. Oh my gosh. Why permission? Oh man, it's always something, huh? So get out of here. All right. Amen. All right, so now we're detached from the pair repository. Repo view. Oh man, I'm gonna have to go to GitHub, aren't I? So.
Well, you haven't pushed yet, so. Yeah, you could just. I
created the repository up here.
Yeah.
And we can go ahead and fix the name we're all in here because that pair is just. I can't deal with that. Oh, I'm not logged in. Okay, I give up. Oh my gosh. Yeah, it's funny. Like I can't clone, so like,
But you were logged in earlier.
It's a different browser.
Oh.
I don't end up down a rabbit hole with an empty Git. What?
I love how we're like an hour and a half into this and we've gotten nowhere.
Yeah, totally.
Welcome to the life of a developer.
Yep. This is all I wanted. All right, so oh my gosh, copy it. Yeah. All right, so getting it. Get remote. Is it origin? No, set origin and then URL. Right?
No. Yeah, sure. Yeah. I think it's add.
Add, yeah. Good call. Okay, so that's good. Got a license. Now I need a git add. Yeah, add. I always forget about add. And now we want to like a git ignore. I'm kind of surprised they didn't add one for you with the MVC.
Yeah, there's a GitHub project that has all the git ignores.
Yeah, this one's just from GitHub. Oh.
But that's the one for Visual Studio. Yeah, so.
Yeah, that's a lot.
And add that specific to that www directory. No, you had the right one.
You put it in the www directory? I guess that makes sense.
Well, we want different git ignore directories because we're going to have more than one thing, right?
Yeah.
So this git ignore will be specific to our www directory.
All right. Oh no, too much. Body weavers? What? What's body weavers? Alright. So now, by God, this is all your fault, by the way, that I'm using GitLens. I think, yeah, you might have missed that. So these are the files we're going to add. So we're going to exclude the bin folder, exclude the object. Everything else looks good. Properties, views. Yeah, that's all good stuff. All right, so now I'm going to do this via the UI. It's so much safer. And we're gonna
I feel like I failed you, Joe. I failed you. It's my fault.
Well, I'm about to fail you right now.
Pretty soon you're going to be telling me that DevOps is a role.
That's right.
And
I forgot. Branch. So I started just switching to main.
Wait, did you spell branch wrong?
I did. All right. All right. So now there is a new repository.
Just think, this is an hour and a half that we could have been playing Overwatch. I'm just saying.
Man, for real.
I mean, we would have accomplished the same amount.
Yeah, but we wouldn't have Kubernetes, Inferno, Skynet, Life Sharing, One Fine Day, Sunday pair.
Oh, that's true. That is true.
The world needs this, man. All right, cool. So, so now .NET Docker file. So, where do you like to put your Docker files?
Wherever in the place that they're building.
Okay, so inside the www directory.
Yeah, that's where. Okay, now I see where you're going with the question. Yeah, that would be my preference.
Okay.
All right, let me clone.
Yippee is right. Or Factorio, no kidding. Yeah, I still need to show you my Prometheus jazz.
All right.
So now .NET Core typically I've seen it done as a dual stage build. So I don't know if it's worth trying to type that by hand or just finding someone else has done it. So yeah, I think we would start with the SDK, do our build, and then the ASP.NET for running. Roughly. What an example.
Making sure I can build. Go over to here. HPS. Localhost. 5001.
Okay.
Advanced. All right, sweet. I got my welcome page up and running.
Hey, awesome. No problem. Oh, I might have found it though. Build an ASP.NET Core Docker sample.
Oh, Jamie's going to hook us up with a Docker file though.
Yeah. Build scripts in Docker file. I'm just capturing that.
MVG says it depends. If there's any build scripts, the Docker file should be high enough to capture that in the context. Okay, so I agree. So Matt Vikengon saying, like, you know, going back to your question about where you'd want to put the Docker file would depend on like what you want the context to be. So I do agree with that in terms of simplicity. Although technically you can specify that context when you do your Docker build, but I would agree that the Docker file should ideally go wherever the root of the context is.
So maybe is it best practice to say like you should always put it as low as possible, or it's like as deep as possible, because you can't reach out, you can't go up from your context.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like with the command line, when you do your build, though, you can specify where the context is. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, but you can't go above that context. So you can't say like context here and then dot slash it.
Right. Once you say where the context is, that's where it is. But yeah. So yeah, you should. I agree with what you're saying. You should put it as deep as you possibly can, which is where your which I guess would translate to where the context is. That would be my preference. I think that would be a best practice. We should consider that best practice.
All right, so that means we have it in the right spot. All right. So now we got Onion architecture. It's been a while since we talked about that. Very nice. So we got .NET SDK. Does that work? It's just SDK. Is that the latest version?
You need to change the name of that CS Proj.
Yes.
Jamie mentioned that.
Publish. So yeah, here it's not called Onion Web. We called it dub.
Raised my chair and now I'm at the top of that.
Right, it's for runtime.
There we go.
Okay, and then here it'll also be dub. Dark build // but that's yeah. Ooh. Yeah, I don't want to set the context. That's weird. Yeah, I've seen that. Unfortunately, I've seen that pattern. And I'm not a fan. Yeah, it still looks good. I was going to double check the version because I expected to see the number 5 in here or something. So just want to make sure that that's still what how they're naming things. Let's see. .NET SDK Docker Hub. Is that the way to find it? Let's see. I see the word core. That's 2.3. So it looks like maybe we need one for .NET 5. .NET SDK.
Let's see.
Why can't I find this? There we go. Microsoft.NET. Nope, that's 2 and 3. You got it?
No. Hold on.
Sorry, I keep coming up chat.
Do the Googles.
5 Docker Hub.
Microsoft.NET Core? Is that it? No. That says .NET Core 2.1 and 3.1.
Yeah, it looks like they changed the names on us. .NET 5, okay.
Okay, there is a Microsoft-.NET SDK. Is that the one you're looking at right now? Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I expected. Okay, so yeah, there we go. So that is what I expected to be here. As publish. Alright, so we're going to make a directory, and we're going to make out directory. We're going to copy it in, and then we .NET publish, okay? And then down here, we need to make sure we got the latest version here, which looks a little bit different. Yeah, so the new .NET 5 is supported. So that's pretty brand spanking new. Regular Progman, like .NET 5 came out officially like a month ago. .NET 5 ASP.NET. Yeah, and I will totally. Let's see. Wait. I thought they were getting away from core. Jeez. I give up. Docker Hub.
Yeah, Microsoft has never been the best at naming things.
Yeah, Series X1, X what?
My son pointed out to me, I think, I don't know, he probably saw it on Reddit or something, but he pointed out that if Microsoft were to come out with VR for the Xbox, then they could reuse the name Xbox 360.
Yeah.
I thought that was pretty funny.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And pretty accurate.
Oh, right. Oh my gosh. You're so right. So, yeah. So ASP.NET, they already had a version 5. Ow, my head. So they had to keep the core. Wow. They should just, okay. I mean, I don't know. Microsoft's doing fine without my opinions. Is this the runtime? Yes. Oh, but this also, no, that's related. Okay. So I just want to make sure that I'm only getting the runtime and not the SDK as part of this core and net runtimes and libraries for optimizing. Okay, so I think that's it. So we can try. Naming is ridiculously hard. We can just do a Docker build by zapping into our context. We're gonna use www and Docker build here and tag it with .NET or something. Now, there's definitely some things that we're taking shortcuts on, like proper security. Like right now we're running as root. Oh man, error. .NET publish. Configuration release. Output /app/out. That all looks good to me.
What happens if you do that .NET publish command outside of Docker?
Yeah, let's find out.
Can you do those same commands?
Yeah, so what we're saying is .NET publish. Blah blah. Oh, the folder will be different.
If you're going to do that, you're going to have to create that folder.
Yeah, and I don't have a /. So this is, I'm building on Windows. Configuration release.
Wonder, let me go back and try it on mine.
Oh, here's the deal. I don't need this folder, right? So I copied everything in this folder into it, so I don't need the double dubs.
Okay.
Okay, in fact, because I'm already in the working directory, I could just do that and do that and that. Well, yeah. Well, no, sorry. I mean, this doesn't matter. The hardcode apps are fine. Let's just try building again. Yep, good call, good call. And Windows 9, yeah, totally. Okay, hey, it looks like it built. So now we can run it too, right? Run.net. And is it -p for port 501. File not found in the path unknown. App.out to app. Did I do something wrong?
You're set up to run Linux containers, I assume.
Yep.
Can you look?
Oh, I need to commit though. So let me commit known broken code. Let's see. All right. So what's a good way to debug this? Like,
yeah, I heard the same thing as what Mad Viking God just said about why Microsoft didn't go with the Windows 9.
Oh, right. Live share. Oh, yeah, live sharing would have been a great idea. I always forget about live sharing. What's this? -p.
Yeah, we should have done that.
Oh, it's the port. It doesn't like the. Oh man, this is totally dumb. It's because I didn't put my argument for the port ahead of time.
Oh.
Yeah, that was it.
Can't win.
Nope. So let me grab that command for the README. All right. I'm gonna run that again too, just to make sure. So in the README now, so now you can say you can cd into the directory and do .NET run to run it, or you can do Docker. Do I want to say cd www? I don't know.
But I would suggest tagging it as not .NET. Let's tag it as www.
What do you see? Oh, yeah, good call.
Because otherwise, like, you're tagging it the name of a command, which seems like a bad practice.
Yeah, that and it's the name of the technology rather than the purpose. So
yeah,
weird.
Yeah, it can get super confusing.
All right, so make sure these commands still run. All right, commit them into Git history forever. All right, so now that was very fast. Localhost 1001. Uh-oh, HTTPS. Should probably put that in the README somewhere.
Oh, Mad Viking God had to leave. Jamie says that the naming reason for Windows 9 naming is not a rumor though, but truth.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I mean, I remember like long ago. Did you ever listen to the podcast? What's it called? This Week in Windows or This Week in Jamie? No, Mary Jo Foley and.
It's 480.
What am I messing up here? Do you know the one I'm talking about?
Nope.
This Week in
This Week Tonight?
Windows.
Let's see, Docker.
Isn't that? Oh, I guess they changed the. Now it's called Windows Weekly. Oh, maybe it was always called Windows Weekly. Yeah, with Paul Thurrott and Mary Jo Foley. But back when Microsoft originally skipped Windows 9, I remembered hearing them talk about it then, but I wasn't sure if that was like a legit thing or just like, speculation. But it sounds like Jamie's saying it is not speculation. You map the port when running Docker.
Yep, totally. Yeah, so it's it should have been 5,000. If it's the same one to the same one, you can skip the other half. But it's when you do .NET publish, it's and you totally got it. So man, y'all are quick. If it wasn't for this latency, so yeah, this publish runs on port 80 and it doesn't run under HTTPS. I'm sure you could change the publish to that, but that is a really good point. So in this one, it was running on HTTPS. So I'm going to put a little note in here, like no S here.
Yeah, what's weird. Well, let's see. Before I finish that thought. Yeah, that is not working for me locally.
No? Because of Kubernetes?
Phil. And we're going to have to, obviously continue on with this in a later date because we're not getting nearly as far along as we had hoped. What was this other one? We've seen a lot of, Jamie says, I've seen a lot of code from the 90s, which checked the Windows version number by only grabbing the first digit because 95 and 98. So, okay. I hadn't actually seen the source. So that's cool. So I have a definitive, proof from somebody who's actually looked at the code to see that it was actually looking for 9 splat.
Yeah, that's
so
awesome.
That's pretty cool. Thanks for confirming that, Jamie. Looks like Spare Brain has to go as well.
Yep.
Got to split. We'll catch the rest on YouTube. Thank you for joining.
By the way, this is like
part of our one fine Sunday morning.
Right. So despite the technical issues and the slow start, this has been the biggest stream by like a factor of 4.
There we go.
Yeah.
Our Twitch streaming career is taking off. It's all coming true.
That's right. Where's the money?
Yeah. Do I buy my Lamborghini now or should I wait?
Yep. All right, see you,
Super good, Dave.
Oh no, we talked about it being too good.
No.
Everyone's leaving. Bye. Non-Microsoft code?
It's non-Microsoft code.
That makes sense.
Okay, gotcha.
All right, well, so we have this thing running in Docker. So next, we're going to take it up to Kubernetes land.
Yeah, sure. Let's do that. So just taking this one bit of the puzzle of our ultimate 3-tier architecture.
Yep.
We've got one part. All right.
Yep. All right. So next is running in Kubernetes. So we've already got the cluster all set up. So now this is another good question, I think. So we said that we wanted to keep the Docker file close to the files, basically as deep as we can go. And so we put it in here. where do we put our deployment files for Kubernetes?
Yeah, man, this one's tough. It really, because if you have one deployment folder and then you put all the deployment bits into that tree, then it's easier to reason about what gets deployed versus what doesn't.
Yep.
Like, because and you might say like, wait, why would something not get deployed? And the reason would be like, well, you might have some folder like let's assume mono repo, right?
Yep.
Then you could have some folder that is strictly like a library that other code uses. So it gets deployed, but not directly. It's like an implicit, it's just being deployed as a dependency.
Okay.
So if we go with the deployment folder structure, then it's more easier to see like the specific things that are getting deployed.
All right, I'm done with that.
Okay.
I always this is what I always do, deployment. But I've always had a hard time kind of explaining or expressing or figuring out why I feel that it should be that way.
Well, so, does what I said jive with what you
totally
want to say then?
Because there is absolutely going to come a day when something isn't getting deployed and anything it should.
Yeah.
It's going to be a lot of those days. So then under here, I assume we create another folder, name it the same.
Yeah, let's do that. Yep.
Okay. So in here, kind of high level Kubernetes, like we typically look at the most atomic unit of things when we're kind of debugging and working, and that's basically the pod, which is going to be kind of, essentially maps to a process. But you don't typically create pods directly. You can, but it's generally bad practice because pods are ephemeral, meaning if the cluster goes down or the nodes go down or something, the pod alone isn't going to recover. It's not going to come back. So typically you create pods indirectly via a deployment object. Does that sound right?
Yeah.
Yep. So normally the first thing I would do here is create a deployment, and then I'd go create a service, because if we think of these pods as being ephemeral and being, like people say, like cattle instead of pets, then you don't want to directly reference a cattle, right? You don't want to reference a cow. You want to reference a service, which will kind of stand in front of, whatever those cattle. I hate that. Anyway, I hate that metaphor. But,
well, I wanted to expand a little bit on this though too, just to like make sure in my own mind. Okay, so one was like let's back up. So for those who might not already know, right? You were talking about pods.
I want cake.
But really, like that's already starting. Like technically, the highest level up would be the nodes, then the pods, and then the containers. So nodes are like the outermost layer of this onion. Then within a node, you have multiple pods, and then within a pod, you have multiple containers, right?
Yep.
So if we work our way back out from that, then the containers, obviously, if you're already familiar with Docker, then you already have a good sense of what that is. The node would be the actual machine that the pods are running in, or that the cluster is running in. And in like a cloud-based version of Kubernetes, then those would be VMs, right? Like, so on like a AWS or a GKE, those are VMs. But on our laptop or, our desktop or whatever that we're doing local development on, then our node is the physical hardware that we're using to do our development on. And then the running pods, it'd almost be like, if you ignore what I just said about like the VMs running for the cloud, and you only considered your physical hardware that you're developing on, then you could think of the pods as VMs running inside of that, on that machine, right?
Yep.
So your node is your laptop. You have pods that are VMs running on your laptop, and then inside of those VMs, you're running containers.
Yep.
Okay. And then there is the comment about running the deploys. So at the lowest level, if I recall, there's in Kubernetes speak, there's a replica set, right? And a replica set is like something that you want Kubernetes to control and how there might be more than one of, and Kubernetes can like orchestrate the construction and tear down of that thing, and like be aware of like liveliness probes to see like the health of it and does it need to kick off another one or not. So that's the lowest level. But typically you don't do things with replica sets. Instead, you go to like a higher level of abstraction, which would be either a deployment or a stateful set. So both of those both of those are like inherit from, let's say, replica set. And the difference there is that the deployments are typically like your stateless things. So like your web UI, for example, might be a regular deployment, whereas anything that needs to have state and retain that state when the pod is destroyed or recreated, then you would use a stateful set for that thing. So like a database, for example, you would use a stateful set for, and we'll get more into stateful sets later when we bring a database into this experiment. But you would have volume, like persistent volumes that you would attach to that stateful set that it knows how to reach out and use.
Yeah, the volumes is a really important distinction there, because for the most part, most types of volumes you can only attach to one kind of pod. So if you have, for example, a volume for like a database, you don't want to have multiple things kind of attaching and touching and reaching in and changing things on that hard drive unless it's specifically like NFS or some file system that's designed for that, which you typically don't want to be using with the database. And so stateful sets give you a reliable way of making sure that the right thing is attached to the right thing at the right time.
Yes.
So yeah, we're going to create a deployment. And the way I typically do this is I copy a deployment that's already created and change it. But if you don't have one to copy, then I usually just use the command line and then do kubectl create. I don't know if that's how you normally do it.
Kubectl create deployment.
Yep.
Yeah, you could totally.
And you do like -o, I think, for the name of the file, so it creates it to file rather than just splatting it out there.
Oh, mine is giving me an error.
Kubectl create deploy. You can use any alias of deployment or deploys, or I forget, DE, I think. And then I think if we do help, it'll tell you what else is required. So I know it's a couple things. So the aliases are deployment and deploy. All right, so we give it a name and then we give it an image. And those are required. So here we'll do a name of www.
Yep, I like that.
And the image will be www:/latest.
So you didn't tag it latest though.
No, I didn't. I just said I don't have to tag it latest, but we probably should.
I mean, for this, like in a production use case, we wouldn't want to use latest, but I think for this one, it'll be fine.
Yeah.
For this purposes, it's fine.
So we'll do that. Oh, and I created it live in the cluster. So let me delete that. Was it actually created out? I forgot to do the output file. Delete, deploy, www. All right, and -o, and this is gonna be the wrong folder, but we can fix that. We call it like deployment.yaml. Geez. It's like dash output, I forget.
Oh, wait.
Create YAML.
No, just -o YAML. Don't give it a name. Just
yeah.
like the YAML is the type.
Okay.
Is the output type.
Oh, and I forgot to echo it to a file, but that's okay.
Yeah.
All right, and so we'll take this and we've got our deploy folder. Deployment.yaml. And I just dropped it in there. Now, resources, I typically go ahead and just set up a limit and request. Here, it doesn't really matter too much, but I just kind of try to get in the habit of doing it every time, like best practice. Requests, CPU, is it CPU?
Sure, yeah. You just said it. Yeah.
And then what's the other one?
Memory.
It's just memory like that.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, 100. Am I?
Sure.
Okay.
That'd be good enough. And then do the same thing for the limit.
Okay.
Now.
No more squiggles.
So okay, but let's talk about this for a moment though. So for anyone that hasn't already done this, what this is saying is that when the Kubernetes pod scheduler wants to start up this deployment, you might have a Kubernetes cluster that has multiple nodes. So we talked about that being like your physical machine, right?
Yep.
You might have multiple physical machines that's part of your Kubernetes cluster. And when it wants to run this pod, or we called it, think of it as a VM earlier, then it needs to know like, hey, I need to find a node that has this amount of memory and this amount of CPU in this case, in order to run this, because that's what I'm going to request. Now, when that pod is running, but the limit here is limited to like Joe could have set that limit to be like 200 meg, and say 200 M CPU, and then it would have, if that pod tried to use more than that, then the Kubernetes scheduler would kill that pod because it was trying to use more than what it was limited to. But I think it's considered best practice to use the same limit and request amounts so that you're guaranteed that on whatever node the pod gets assigned to, that amount exists. Because what you could have happen is if your request and your limits aren't the same, then you could have more pods scheduled on the same node who in aggregate, their limits might exceed what the node has. And if that were to happen, if any of those pods were to start to really peak, and reach that limit, then eventually the node itself would run out of space and cause problems. I guess I'm not exactly sure if like it would if it would kill just the pods, or if the node itself would also die. Do you know, Joe?
I would expect it to be. I think it would terminate the pods OOM, and then it wouldn't be able to schedule them back. So I think they just end up being pending and dead. So I don't think it would kill the node.
But the point is by setting the limit and the request to be the same amount, then you're guaranteed that whatever pods get scheduled on that node, they can fully utilize whatever they want, whatever they need per their specification here, without clobbering anything else that's running on that node.
Yeah, I think
because you could have, because otherwise, if you didn't, I guess a better way to say this is, otherwise, if you didn't do this and you did have pods that in aggregate could exceed the node's capability, then you might have a pod you might have a pod that's killed due to an out of memory error, and it wouldn't be clear to you why that pod died or why that pod was killed.
Yeah, it's a total pain.
Yeah. And so like you would go, debugging it, you could spend a lot of time trying to debug it. Like, why did my pod run out of memory? Why was it killed? And it had there was nothing wrong with any code running in that pod. It was just environmental. And by setting the requests and the limits the same, you get rid of the possibility of environmental type issues.
I just realized you've been out of frame. Sorry. And thanks for the follow. I missed the name because I'm terrible, and I am blind. But thank you. All right, I think maybe I fixed the frame. But one thing I don't remember if we mentioned this, but CPU of 100M. This always confuses me. I always end up looking it up. But what this means is it's 10% of a single CPU. So if we go look at what I've actually allocated for my cluster over here under resources, so you can kind of think of us of having 2,000 CPUs to use, and then I'm saying that this guy gets 100 of them per pod. Now, one other thing I like to do for deployments is I tend to clear out everything that I'm not explicitly setting. So a lot of the stuff is just kind of generated, and it includes the defaults for things. I don't care. And some of these things, it won't even let you do the like things like the generation. So I don't know why it popped that in there. Manage fields. Don't care. Any of that stuff. So name, we've got it labeled as app www, which is important because we're going to use this label to later attach it to the service, and actually even having the deployment associated with the pods is all going to be done via this label.
Get rid of the, yeah.
Yeah. And all this stuff, like I'm going to leave replicas because I thought it might be fun to do too.
Yep.
Or more. So,
I'd agree with that.
I think it's a good idea to use more than one, just in case you have any issues that you're not aware of, that you won't realize that you've kind of made a mistake. Hey, thanks for the follow, geez. So selector, now this is important. So this is what's going to tie our deployment together, basically. Strategy, all that stuff is default. So I think if you don't delete the defaults, then it's really confusing to anyone coming in to look at the file to know what's different about it or what's special about it. So template.
You need the creation timestamp.
You need the label though. And then container is important. So this is where we said the image's latest image pool policy. I think that's probably fine.
For right now, I would say image pool policy of always would be beneficial to us for development. Maybe not for a production environment. You would want a different value there. So like it would only try to pull that image if it was newer.
Yeah, so I think that's it. So we've got our deployment, and we tie the spec together with the template that we use for the pods. And so I think that's it. So we should be able to apply this file now to our cluster. So just make sure we don't have any deploys now. Deploy. And we do have one. I think that's from earlier. When I accidentally created it. There we go. So we have no deploy, deployments, deploys. So now we just kubectl. I have an alias. I should have mentioned that earlier. I have an alias for kubectl because it's just too much. It's too much to type that all the time. Oh, and I'm not in the right folder. So I'm going to zap over to deployment folder. Now kubectl apply -f, and we give it the name. And now if we do git deploy, we should see, there we go. And so 0 out of 2, so that means we're going to be creating 2 pods because that's how many replicas we said we wanted. And we're going to have an issue here actually because we haven't tagged the build. So we'll be able to see an error when we go look at our pods. So we see we've got, they're not ready. There's one that's going to be created here. And it's trying to pull the image, and it can. So both of these, I'm watching it right now, so you can see these items are duplicated.
Yeah, I was going to say, we should specify that -w is the same as a -- watch.
Yep.
If he didn't type in that -w, then you would only seen the first 2 lines, which would have said where it said image pull back off. And then in order to see any other new updates, you'd have to keep running the command over and over like he's doing now.
Yep, and there we go. One of them changed. So basically it's like trying to pull it, can't find it, eventually gives up, logs the status, retries again. And so this is what we mentioned earlier where we go like edit that deployment or describe that deployment. Deploy, what was it called?
Mm-hmm.
So in here, we're looking for an image called www:/latest. And if we do our docker image ls, I think, and look for one called www, then we can see, hey, wait, repository tag latest.
Really?
Oh,
yeah, I have that too.
So why isn't it finding it then?
Can you push?
To where?
No, git push.
Oh, git push. Yeah, let me commit first.
So I can pull down the latest.
Yeah, let me just head over to this UI.
Oh my god.
So it does say latest, but I kind of don't trust it. I kind of want to build it again. So over here, because we definitely didn't build it with the latest. So go ahead and update this. And running via Kubernetes. Same kind of thing. So we're going to start by building the image still. And by the way, by the time we get to Skaffold, this is going to be so much easier. It's going to be ridiculous. Failed to solve. Docker file. Oh, because I'm in the wrong directory.
Did you push?
Maybe not. Yeah, I pushed. I don't know what your problem is.
Yeah, I don't know. Weird.
Erase the evidence. Alright, so dub. Okay, so now I've definitely done it. Local dub. Hey, thanks for the follow.
Configured.
Can't see the name, but thank you. I'll try to read it on my little phone here. I think Coding Blocks needs to buy me like 5 more monitors. Alright, so now if we go back to that deployment folder. And actually didn't need to go back. So if we look at the pods, we should see that after these get done, basically the pull off means that the back off, it's like it tried, it failed, it couldn't find it, so it's waiting some sort of time period. But I'm going to go ahead and delete these 2 pods. I'm going to do that with our label of app equal to dub. I think this will just kind of avoid us waiting for that period of time. I don't know how long that is.
Hold on. Kubectl config use set.
Remember what we said is that the pods are created by the deployment. So even though I deleted the pods, they just get recreated by the deployment, because Kubernetes is always trying to make sure that the state of the cluster is the same as this cluster definition.
I gotta change my namespace. No, that wasn't the problem.
Full access denied for dub. Repository does not exist or may require Docker login.
So it's not set up to pull from your local?
That's what it sounds like.
It's weird though, because I applied that and I'm not getting the I'm not even seeing the pods try to start.
You applied the file?
Yeah. So, and if I do a kubectl git deploy, I see it. It deployed it. It configured the deployments.
I'm going to try changing the image pool policy. I always get confused about always and never. So I applied the change to the cluster. I'm going to watch the pods again. Oh yeah, that was it. So the image pool policy is what messed us up.
Yeah, but now your pod's terminated.
Well, that's the old one. So we've got 2 new ones, 4MGT and SR4, that are both running. So if I get rid of that watch, we should just see the 2 running ones now. Yep, so I'll push that up.
Wait a minute. Kubernetes image. Because I thought for sure we wanted an image pull policy of always for what we're doing right now.
Yeah, let's go see.
So where did that image
policy.
Pull policy?
I could have just left it as default if not present.
I meant the image pull policy and use latest tag as latest. Oh, the default image pull policy is if not present, which causes kubelet to skip pulling an image if it already exists. If you would like to force it to pull, you can set it to one of the following. You can set it to always, or you can omit it. Or you can omit it and specify the tag. I'm gonna have to read up on that because I'm still a little surprised that the always didn't work.
Yeah, I don't understand. If anyone out there in chat knows what's going on, I'd love to hear it. But I've had this problem before, and I guess I just don't understand quite what never and always mean, which is kind of a ridiculous thing to say, right? It's like those are opposites, complete opposites.
Well, what if we changed it to if not present?
It's hard to tell now because it's already gone through once.
Speak for yourself.
I guess we could try resetting the cluster and see what happens. We do that. So we're going to reset the cluster. What could go wrong? And after like 20 minutes, we'll be able to try it again. I mean, I don't know if you can hear this music Outlaw, but it is awful.
No, I don't hear any music.
Yeah. This is the hip hop channel. It sounds like Christmas in July or something. I don't know.
Oh, is that because... Oh, it's because I have it muted. Hold on. Oh, yeah.
No, I'm about to change it.
Because I muted the Twitch stream so that I'm only hearing us through the call. Otherwise, I would have a delayed, I would hear like a delayed echo.
Yeah.
What's weird though is like my deployments aren't even happening unless they're happening. Yeah, they're not.
So if you apply the file -f deployment,
yeah,
you do kgit deploy, you don't get anything?
No, I do.
Okay.
But then if I do get pods, I'd get nothing. No resources found in default namespace.
I can't imagine why that would happen. Is it a path thing? I don't think so. When you share your screen, I just have to move a couple things around. It's not a big deal. Oh yeah, but let me try. So I'm got a blank cluster. I'm going to apply the file again. Just deployment.yaml. So now if I do pods, do I get pods? So if not present isn't working for me. So never works for me, but if not present or always does not work.
Okay, interesting. I mean, I'm guessing this is like, the difference between like micro K8s versus Docker desktop.
Yeah, I mean, they both should be certified Kubernetes, so it should behave the same. I can't imagine why you would have a deployment but not apply. Can you look at your replica sets? Deployment completes. The deployment creates a replica set. You should see desired and then current. That's funny. That's my one from. I don't know what that is.
Can you not kubectl get replica set?
Get RS.
Oh, is that what it is? Get RS.
It's an alien. I'm sure there's another one too. Get aliens.
Yeah, no resources found in default namespace.
So your deployment isn't creating a replica set.
Yeah, but if I do a kubectl get deploy, I see it. Here, let me go over to here. Let's see.
Are you in the default namespace?
I am.
I just noticed that the namespace was actually explicitly set to default. So I don't know if maybe your namespace is not the word default. Maybe it's literally blank. That would have done it.
Well, okay. So first of all, you have to enable screen sharing, and then I can share what I'm doing.
Okay. So I'm gonna stop that. All right, now things are gonna look funky for a minute. All right, and now you should be able to share. All right, let's see how it looks.
So yeah. So if so you see where I did the kubectl get deploy.
1 sec, please, por favor. Yeah, fix this chat thingy. Or I'm fixing the display rather. Okay, there we go. I think that should be good. All right, so I see.
So kubectl get deploy.
Yep.
And I can see it. Can't see it in the replica set. If I config get context. So there's that. Now I did try this. So if I say config set context current name space default, bang, come back up here to get, there's that. Okay, get pods, still nothing.
Well, deploy.
Okay, get rs. Okay, get deploy.
Huh.
If I apply f, oh my god.
I do think it's worth deleting the namespace line from the deployment because we want it to default to whatever namespace you're in. We shouldn't hard code it to deploy. So I would say that's an error.
You mean to default?
Yes. We should delete it, the line that sets it to default.
Yeah, I don't disagree with that.
But yeah, it doesn't explain the problem.
I think you could do. Wait, what is it?
I'm checking that in right now, so if you pull, we'll have it.
So, okay, get deploy. Still nothing. So get pull origin main. Oh, did you push?
Probably not. I mean, definitely did. I'm just double checking here. Yep, nothing. It just told me like everything was totally good. You rock. It actually said that.
Oh yeah, I have get status, get. Okay, so there's that.
If you apply that deployment file.
So, but first though, we want to change the namespace back, right?
Yeah. You should be able to do it in whatever namespace you want.
Set set oh wait.
And this is we said microcates.
Set contacts. Yeah, micro K8s, yeah. So now if I kubectl config git, so there's that. So now kubectl apply -- prune -- all. Oh my god. Deployment.yaml. All right, kubectl. Or yeah, whatever. K get deploy. K get pods. Yeah, see?
And no.
I mean, this goes back to what I was talking about earlier about like, with my environment being a little borked after playing with K9s yesterday. Because you can see like even the tab completion getting messed up when I use the K alias versus tab completion works fine if I use kubectl, which is also an alias. Oh, you know what? I wonder if it matters though. I wonder if the tab completion is working for the kubectl because it's a snap alias.
Oh, snap.
I don't
trust that snap stuff. So if you do a describe on that deploy, doesn't give you any sort of status. That's useful. Whoa.
I kind of got sidetracked. You want me to do a describe on what now?
Deployment. Yeah, it should be fine.
Yeah, I mean,
request.
Namespace, default.
Environment, none. Mounts, none. Events, none. Let's see what mine looks like.
I am curious to see. Let's go to snap.
So I have events.
Alias. I forgot that. Snap.
Environment was none.
So if I do micro. Oops.
You had a selector there, right? I don't remember seeing that or not.
Oh man, it still didn't work.
Hey, sorry.
Selector.
Just saw in the chat you asking about the kubectl describe deploy. So that's what I'm looking at on my computer, and then I've got outlets kind of hidden.
Describe. Oh yeah, I already did that. Yeah, that's the output we have.
But I've got mine up on the screen now too, so let me do a quick comparison because it looks different. So the name is the same, the name is space. It says default. Creation timestamp, labels is good, annotations. I do have an annotation in mine, but that's probably not a big deal. Selector, where's your selectors?
It says it at the top. It's like near the top. App equal www.
Yeah, I see it now. Replicas to desired. Strategy type, don't really care. Many seconds. Rolling update strategy, don't care. Pod template. Labels is good. Containers is good. Did you build www latest? Support.
Yeah, if I do Docker image ls, you see that I have latest there.
Yeah.
Now I didn't explicitly tag it as latest. Or did I? Maybe I did. That we want to tag this as www latest. It's already there. I mean, I could Docker system prune -- all. Bang, 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 bang. Do the builds, do the builds, do the builds. See something wrong with cluster. Things doesn't get scheduled. Yeah. Yeah.
Someone I found someone has the same problem, and the top answer with 1 point worked by. I'll send connection.
So it's running. But all of these being disabled, does that? This is where I gotta get more familiar with micro K8s.
I don't know about that. I do see people saying basically they had to restart microcates. So I don't know.
I mean, I can do that, sure. Why not? Oh, wait. Stop. The connection was refused. What?
That's weird. Oh, sorry, man. I'm missing chat.
Oh,
There's
yeah.
something wrong with the cluster. Yeah, just like you said, things aren't getting scheduled.
Yep,
I did
agree
push.
with that.
Yeah, and yeah, I definitely pushed. I don't know what you're talking about. Some components of Kate's.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally. So that's the only thing I can think of.
Ivan Novi. I'm not sure. I'm not sure how that's supposed to be pronounced, but yeah.
And sorry, I'm like trying to look at.
I think he's on the right track.
Yeah.
He or she.
Yep, I think you totally called it.
If I kick that off.
It's gonna work now.
Okay. You know what I should have done is just check the status after it stopped just to verify.
All right.
Wow, I think it's still coming up though.
That's cool. I didn't know about those dots. The dot stuff.
Technically, you don't have. That's a good question. You should, because the Docker daemon does not exist. Docker's installed. You should create it and add the following lines.
Maybe that's it.
And then restart Docker. Yeah, maybe. Let's see. Status. So let's try this.
Oh, I just lost power.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. We'll see. Luckily got it. I got the EPS you recommended. So looks like internet and everything stayed up.
That's crazy.
Yeah. The UPS never work. That's crazy.
Well, no, I mean, it's crazy that your area lost power and internet stayed up.
Oh yeah, the power flickers out pretty often here.
Okay, what did it else say? And then system control, restart Docker.
All right, I have a note.
Okay. Then what if I
Not to
do
see.
micro K8s? Stop. Let's see if this works. While we wait. Your by the way, your camera is just like a moth.
I guess the camera's on a different shot. Oh, which means I lost my zoom and stuff too.
I saw you flash there for a second.
Yeah.
Okay. So now if I were to say status, it says it's not running, start, and then bring this back up and say inspect.
All right, let me fix my face here.
We don't have that kind of time.
Yeah.
Boom.
Derp, derp.
Okay, so maybe that's what it was the whole time, is this that I didn't have Docker set up correctly for microcates. Status running. Okay, get pods. Hey, that's what it was.
Yeah, no kidding. Wow. So.
Okay.
Hey man, Ivanhoe called it. That's awesome.
Yeah. Wait, how did you pronounce that? Oh no.
Oh, I haven't even been able to read it, so I'm just saying based on what you said.
Oh, Ivy Novi.
Ivanhoe.
Yeah.
I'm saying it poorly. Sorry.
I apologize if we're like really messing up your name.
Yes, feel free to correct.
All right, cool. So now I have that. Okay. So now you and I are at parity. And hey, here's the cool thing about this is you're developing on Windows, I'm developing on Ubuntu, but yet we're sharing the same stuff.
Oh yeah, that's a big deal.
We didn't even highlight that in any of our conversations before.
Yep.
So yeah. Yeah. It's okay. Oh, but you know what we don't have is a way to. Oh, we do have.
Oh my gosh.
We don't have a service in front of that.
My beautiful
Web yet,
face
though.
isn't showing up.
I see your hand.
You do?
Yeah.
So it's working for. Oh yeah, there it is. Okay. I don't know why it's not showing here.
Hey, Mad Viking got his back.
Oh man.
And guess what? We haven't gotten any further than we're. No, I'm just kidding.
We did solve a super impressive problem. I'm gonna fix my camera real quick.
Can you believe this is our day job?
For real. Yeah, so Mad Viking guy, we had a crazy problem where microcates for Outlaw was not. He was able to create the deployment file, but wasn't getting any replica sets or pods. It was a bad time.
And the problem turned out to be that Docker was not set up in a way for micro K8s. It might have been the same problem even if I was using something else other than micro K8s. But I needed to create a daemon JSON file that looked like, where'd I put it? Docker. It looks like that. I needed to create that guy. And then restart the Docker daemon, and then micro K8s could schedule the pods.
Yeah, so I don't know what that means. So insecure registry, localhost 32,000.
And no, we are not still at the Dockerizing. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
We're at the Kubernetesizing.
Yep. There we go. All right. So good. So you want to go ahead and create the service now?
Yeah.
All right.
Oh, am I driving now or are you driving?
Either one. If you drive, I'll add you to the repo.
Well, then you drive.
Okay.
It doesn't matter. Either way, you're gonna have to make changes.
True.
I don't care.
I'll share. As soon as I remember how. There we go. Okay. So there we go. I think that's working.
Wait, what happened?
I was just closing some stuff. Let's see my beautiful background again. All right. So now if we look at pods, we got pods. So we're basically just about to create the service. And it's going to do it the same way, same folder. So kubectl create service. And I think with the service, I think the port's required. Oh, and the type. So if you look at help, I think we're going to have to tell it there's 4 different types of services built in by default. And
so we're basically going to create a load balancer.
I was thinking cluster IP.
Oh?
Yeah, that's what I usually do.
Well, we're creating 2. We have 2 web apps, and we want traffic to round robin between them.
That's true. So we don't want external name for sure. That's like if you're proxying out to an external resource. Node port relies on being associated in the same port, same node and port, and always making sure that it ends up being there, which doesn't make sense to me. Cluster IP means it's going to get a dedicated IP on the server, and I thought that it worked for, kind of as a load balancer too, but yeah, now I'm questioning. Let's just do load balancer.
Yeah, I would think that load balancer would be the type.
All right. I don't know. Let's see. Internet's cutting out. No, cuddling. All right, so we're creating a service for load balancer. Create service, load balancer, and then I think you have to tell the port, don't you?
Yeah, it would be kubectl create service, load balancer, the name of it, and then -- TCP equal port : port.
TCP, okay. And in this case, it's I think it was 80, right? So
well, I think we would want to use 80, but the internal port was 5001, wasn't it?
I don't remember.
For isn't that what the Docker? I believe that's what we had Docker using, right? 5001.
So Docker, we told it we ran it. Okay, so the container is 80, and then we mapped it to 5001 just because 80 is so common.
Oh, okay.
So this is what we want to do, and now this time we want to output to YAML. Oh, that's what we did last time. YAML, but this time I'll actually redirect the output to service.yaml.
Sure.
All right, so now we should have a service.yaml. Oops, that's in here, and it's just full of junk.
Again.
Yep. Cluster IP will give you load balancing, but only internally. Okay, and Madman God also mentioned that maybe Kate's doesn't have a load balancer, or MicroKate's doesn't have the load balancer.
He also has the ports backwards from what you did.
Oh.
And when I did, K create service help, load balancer was one of the options.
Okay. Yeah, so that should be available then.
And plus, I thought it would have to be in order to be like compliant, right? It would have to offer all the same stuff.
It depends. I don't know exactly what it takes to be. They have a funny word for it too, for compliant. I can't remember what the term is.
I always forget the order. So Matt Viking God said he might be wrong with the order. I always forget, like, is it mine : theirs for the port, or is it theirs : mine?
Mine : theirs.
Mine : theirs. So it would be 80. So if the Docker container is 80 and you wanted it to be 5001, then it'd be 5001 : 80. Right?
Yep.
Which is what you typed in.
Right. So we're going from port 5001, which is what the human will do, in order to just kind of keep it the same, and it's going to go to 80 in the container.
Yeah.
Right, so we're saying type load balancer, which I'm still nervous about, but we'll see. And I think that's it. Once we clear the crap out, that's it.
Yeah. Save that, apply it.
Service.yaml. Okay. And looks like it works.
Get service.
All right. So we got a load balancer running. External IP is pending.
That's weird.
And it's not going to be able to get an external IP. So yeah, I think that we need this to be the other one, which was, I forget.
What, cluster IP?
Yeah.
But okay.
I'll look it up. It's all about the learnings.
Yeah. I was just questioning though, because then that's not going to like let you get to it from external though.
Right? Well, it'll we could port forward to it. So yeah, if we wanted to do load balancer, we would set up an ingress, and we'd have to set up like a DNS or something in order to point to it.
Okay.
It's cluster IP. versus load balancer.
So Mad Viking God says he thinks it would be external Docker, and you'd need to have some kind of controller that can make the load balancers.
Oh yeah, I definitely don't.
You have to install something like Metal LB to get it.
Oh yeah, grody.
Sounds painful.
Okay, so cluster IP is the default. Yeah. And it'll still act as a load balancer. Let's go ahead and do that. Apply that sucker.
Yeah. Do I guess you yeah, delete it.
Alright, we're not able to change from one to the other, which is fine. We know what we're doing here. Alright, so now we've got a service, and what that means is that we can't just go to that port in the browser. We have to port forward first. Service / www, and we're going from 5001 to 5001. So this will be from my computer into the cluster on that port, which will then proxy into the computer.
I think you could short circuit that too, though. Like, I don't think you had, if you didn't specify the port, does it just use the port that was already there? Or maybe you just have to specify one?
Oh, I don't know. Let's try it. So if I take down the port forwarding, then this is still running. That's funny. So this is probably running somewhere else, and yeah.
You might still have Docker running?
Yeah, I didn't think so. Let's try, we'll just do a new port to be sure. Might be just browser cache too. So 5002 doesn't do anything. So if I try port forwarding.
But if you're going to change, well, I mean, my trick was only going to work if you were going to stay with whatever the service was already defined as.
So if you don't pass the port, it yells at you and tells you it's required. And if you, okay.
Like if you typed in 5001. Yeah.
Okay, cool. So we're going from
to 80.
80. Surprised by 80. So that is working, but it also works if we shut it down. So
here, can you push that up? Hey, yeah. Jamie, we're still live.
What up? Yeah, okay. So yeah, it looks like it was, no, it's so somehow we still have this running somewhere. Oh, it's probably Docker. Let me go ahead and push this up.
Yeah.
What's up, Jamie? Welcome back. Did you make cake already?
That's a quick cake maker.
Okay, it's up there. So now we're Kubernetes-fying. And we got a deployment. Now we're just setting up service. Something somewhere is still running this. So I think if it's probably Docker.
Let's see.
Yeah, there it is. So I've got a couple of these running actually, including one on 5001. So let me Docker. Yes. Well,
okay. I don't. So if I say kubectl apply service .yaml,
I have all sorts of stuff running.
Okay, get service.
Django. Nice.
A port forward service www 5001. Unable because the pod is not running. Current state is pending. Wait, what? Get.
All right, how's that looking?
Oh man, my pods still haven't come up.
Okay, prefabs are good. No pods from your deployment.
They say container creating. Kubectl describe pod. Let's say 5. Blah. Failed to create pod sandbox. Failed to set up network for sandbox. So I'm still having like all kinds of micro K8 issues here.
And you're using
does not have cluster DNS IP configured and cannot create pod using cluster first. What were you about to ask?
I don't remember. Oh yeah, I was gonna say if you're doing the cluster IP or load balancer. But I think you just said.
Well, no, I was just using what you just pushed.
Okay, this is my.
But then I noticed that my my pods are not happy. I wonder if I.
So now if I go to 5001, okay, so 5001. Now we're definitely pulling from Kubernetes. All right, and so now if I do my port forward, service www. And there we go. Okay, so ultimately it's forwarding to 80 in the images. So that's cool. All right, well, so it's working for me, which is good. Can you apply the whole folder?
I don't know. It's a good question. Okay, get logs.
Yeah, you can. All right, so that's what's going into the README. All right, so that is Kubernetes. So we change directory into deployment, we build the image, and then we got a CD up into deployment and apply everything in the folder. So I'm just gonna step through this again, make sure it's still valid. Don't need that anymore. All right. Whoa, thanks for the follow. That always surprised me, it's very loud. I need to fix that. I missed what the name was, but thank you. Wonder whether Control L works in PowerShell. Oh, that's nice, so you don't have to see all the clears. Alright, let me try that. Control L, huh? Yeah, look at that. Oh, that's beautiful. Alright, very nice. So now if you don't have to like see a ton of clears on my stream. That's great. That is tip of the week material right there. I can't read the name, unfortunately. Good Progman, all right. Oh, and Fum Damazi, thank you. Now I see it. The little zombie's gotten his head cut off though. I'll work on that. Thanks for hanging out.
It looks like. So apparently the problem I'm having is not uncommon for other people. Related to micro K8s.
So why are you using micro K8s instead of something like, I don't know, Minikube? Just trying something new.
I'm asking myself that same question.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, I could.
I'm thinking, so it's been 3 hours now. I'm gonna have to go eat lunch at some point. Do you think it's worth trying to Helmify? Or should we just try to get your setup working?
Well, no, I think that mine's a lost cause at this point. Like, cause I think that like if I don't think the micro K8s is happy, and I kind of just want to like redo it, go back to Minikube and then see if I can like, what happens with my, do I still have the tab completion issues related that came about after trying to get K9s working, or does everything work right? And because like this is a new build, that I just built yesterday. So if I have to like reinstall everything, I like, if I have to go nuclear and reinstall the whole thing, I don't care. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah, we could go the Helm route and maybe call it a day at that, and then pick back up on this experiment later.
Yeah, sounds good. All right, so I'll go ahead and I guess this is another one of those questions like where do you put stuff? So like normally I wouldn't have a folder here for the dub. I would kind of get rid of it in lieu of the Helm, but I kind of want to leave this around with just the straight files, just so we can kind of be able to run this thing like 4 different ways, So right now you can run it manually, you can run it via Docker, you can run it via Kubernetes. So now we could run it via Helm.
And you like to have a charts folder, and then inside of that you're going to have a deployment charts www chart.
I was going to skip the deployment again. I was just going to do www. Do you think maybe it makes sense to do it just like higher level like that? And it's,
well, I'm trying to figure out like.
So I was thinking inside charts we would create chart. Well,
chart.yaml.
The folder. So in here, as basically we'd go into, like say charts.
And
then Helm create. Www.
Okay.
Let me get a chart in there. And yeah, so the name is www. It's our beautiful, amazing, Inferno, beautiful, cool Sunday fair website. So it's extra definitive edition. Right. So that's it for the chart. Now for this stuff, like Helm charts is one of those things where I clear almost everything out of here. Like it's just otherwise it gets really confusing. I mean, it's nice to have all these variables and stuff so you kind of plumb stuff in and like only basically makes it so you just have to kind of deal mostly with the values file, but I don't know, it's just so noisy. I do keep replica count typically, and if this is your first time seeing Helm, basically Helm is just like a level above Kubernetes where you get some kind of templates. So it uses like, was it Go templates?
Yes, Go templating.
Go templating. Full policy, I'm not sure what that should be. Oh man, Matt Vikingod, you're back. So we ran into an issue where we had the image pull policy of always, and it wasn't doing what we expected. It was never pulling the image. It was never able to find it. We changed it to never, then it worked. So I don't know if it was like trying to go out to maybe Docker Hub or like a remote repository or what, but we never did figure that out. So I almost feel like we're gonna end up doing the same thing here where we need a full policy of never. Feels wrong, doesn't it?
It does feel wrong. Your repository though, that's gonna be a problem. That needs to change.
So typically I just do like a single image and handle putting things together, but it doesn't really matter too much. So repository though, like it's just the name of the image. So in this case it would be www, and the tag is latest, which is problematic, but we'll cross that when we get to it. And I think Skaffold basically has a good mechanism for dealing with that. Like all the stuff that we have been hitting and we're running into is all kind of solved by Skaffold quite elegantly.
In your replica count, we wanted 2.
That's right.
Can you scroll up there on your? Oh wait, never mind. So can you expand templates?
Yep. So templates is all sorts of junk like tests. We don't need no stinking tests. I've never written a Helm test. Actually, I should probably do that.
Yeah, that's what we should learn.
Yeah, that's a good one. It's a good one. Horizontal pod, autoscaler, get out of here. Ingress, notes, nope. Service count, don't care. So basically we're left with a deployment and a service, which lines up pretty well with deployment and service. And so I'm going to go ahead and just copy these guys in here, and we'll pop in the variables we need rather than cleaning those out. We don't need a Helm ignore either. So all we've done so far is create a chart file that has some basic metadata, and it was populated by default for us.
What's in your charts directory there?
That's where dependencies go.
Oh, okay.
Local dependencies, and we don't have any.
That's why I don't like that other folder being called charts.
Yeah, that's a good point. That's a good point. So now we made a copy of our service and our deployment, and here we can pop in variables now, which is super cool. So we could, for example, like make variables for the ports and things like that instead of having a bunch of different files, and then we can have like our build server pop that stuff in. So here, now we can do our .values.replica count.
Let's make that 3 just to like show the difference.
Okay, that was in our variable.
If you go back to values.
Yep, and you can also have multiple values files and choose to kind of swap them out. So also really nice. So now we got replica count. What else did we want to do? The image. This was like,
yeah, and then the late
story and then tag.
Yep.
All right. So I did a little dance moment there, and pool policy.
The image policy. Yep.
Good call. I forgot what it was called. Oh, just pool policy. Okay. Okay, and that's it.
Why is tag? Something's wrong with tag though.
Yes.
Go back to the values YAML. I think it was called. Was it? No, that's what it was named. Image.tag. Why is it not liking that?
It doesn't like the colon first.
Oh. Weird.
Oh, hang on, my headphones died. That's why I need new headphones. I wonder if we did like this. No, they both look bad. That might just be my plugin.
Yeah, let's hope it's just the plugin. Name or app or any of those, like, because we had that. Didn't we have that specified? Well, I guess it was technically just called the image repository, so we probably wouldn't want to reuse that variable there. But I mean, we could go with this alone and just to like prove the point. Although we probably want to take a look at that service YAML.
We could make more.
Well, I guess we haven't plumbed in anything in here for variables, so we're probably fine.
Yeah.
So I think what we'd want to do here is,
we've got some naming
like,
conflicts.
Oh.
Because we got stuff. We got the labels and stuff are all the same as things that we already have existing in our cluster.
Yeah. Well, what I was going to say is like let's remove everything from the cluster and now using Helm to redeploy it.
All right. Via Helm. Say notes. You should probably clear reset your cluster from the previous step. I don't know, I'll clean that up later.
Yeah.
All right, so we could either just reset it via Docker, or we can clear out. We'll delete the pods, and then once those are deleted, we'll delete the deployment. Just kidding, that's a bad joke. And then we do have to do the replica sets separately, which always confuses me. And we didn't have any, which confuses me. Service. And then pods, and we didn't have any persistent volumes. So if we do k get all, that'll get all, dash all. Okay, then the only service we see is the one that's kind of built in.
Okay.
All right, so now we go into
Your www directory.
charts. And well, I usually just do it at this level. Helm install. You give it a name. and then the folder. And I think that's it. Dope.
I thought you had to tell it like that it was a file. Let me see. Install --helm.
Oh, looks like no. Did I give something up in here? I frequently goof up YAML. Try putting quotes around this image. Probably superfluous. No. Invalid. I mean, could this just be like a Unicode thing? Like maybe I got like a Windows file, Windows something or other.
I guess because we're using the default values, we don't have to specify the file. So that was the file I was thinking of. But oh, maybe like you have to do / for the directory.
Oh, that
like Helm install // //
release manifest. Converting YAML to JSON. YAML invalid leading UTF. I mean, that makes it sound like I've got a special character, but I don't see one.
I don't guess that trailing / matters, right? It wouldn't be something silly. Okay.
Let's see here. So I don't see any funky characters there. None there. I was just gonna wonder if it was like a DOS to Unix kind of thing.
Yeah. Can you push it?
Yep, look at that. That's exactly what it was.
Where?
The deployment and service files have
all the spaces?
Yeah. So it's Unicode rather than ANSI.
Ah.
So I think we can just do DOS to Unix. This is one of those things like, man, the first time you hit this, or like the first few times, it's so horrible. Especially like it's the kind of thing that like bites user like Windows people, not so much anybody else. Oh, come on now. Unable to locate package.
Just do it apt-get update. apt-get update.
I always forget that you have to do that. I don't know if I've ever done that.
Never?
Yeah, I think on this computer, I don't know that I've ever used WSL. I think I might have just set it up and thought it did.
Oh, okay, that would make sense.
Wow, there's a lot of packages. A lot of repositories. All right.
Yeah, now apt-get install. There we go.
There we go.
I have to break for lunch.
Yup. Oops, new star. Now we cat. There we go. You look at the message there. Basically, just said converting Unicode to.
Was that because of your paste?
So I copied the files. Yeah, I'm not sure what happened there. I don't know why.
Yeah, that's really weird.
Oh, you know, I used kubectl to create the files, so maybe it saw I was on Windows and did UTF-16 LE.
Oh yeah.
I don't know.
But that's unfortunate.
Yep, it sure is. It's unfortunate that I've hit that so many times too. There we go. So that was the only problem.
All right, sweet.
So now we can see Helm has our stuff in there. That's good.
And now if you do get pods, you should see 3 dub pods.
There
Boom.
We go.
Magic.
So you can see how, like, even though Helm is, well, I mean, that's the whole thing with abstractions, like, is they're supposed to make things easier. So now I've got basically like a one-liner. You know, I guess we kind of did before, but I definitely thought the Helm, like, Helm just seems easier to me. So now whenever I do like a project for real, I don't ever start by creating files like that. I always just start with Helm.
Yeah, because it definitely allows you to like abstract the environment just a little bit more.
Yeah, and like
right?
you saw in that case, we had like a service and a deployment. But you can imagine where it's like, what if you had volumes? What if you had service accounts? What if you had ingress? What if you had? It just keeps all that stuff together and tidy, and you can have like variables, which is really nice. It could apply across multiple.
And I mean, you kind of hinted on this, but you could have like different values.yaml files for different environments. So like what we do, you know, we'll have like a values.yaml for like, you know, a GKE environment, but we'll have another values.yaml for local. So it might be called like values.local or values.prod.
Yeah, and so here I can basically, I need to remove the chart first. Then uninstall. I probably could have just updated it, but now if we do install dub, and now we use the file values.prod.
Do you have to specify the file first though?
I think so. Oh, I know. There we go. So now I should get 10 pods. There we go. That's pretty awesome. All right, so we just Helmified. So we want to call it here, or do we want to try and scaffold?
Hungry.
Yeah, I'm hungry too. I think we could scaffold in like under 5 minutes.
All right, let's go for it. Let's try it.
All right.
Let me tell.
Yeah, I'm racking up some spousal debt right now.
Yeah.
All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and just reset everything real quick. It's gonna take a second to type, and then we'll just do this real quick and show you the brilliance and majesty of. Oh hey, saw the quote. Yeah, I really wish that it wasn't so painful working with Windows. And the thing is, it's really not bad. I mean, like compared to dealing with different operating systems even a couple of years ago, like this is nothing to deal with. But it just, yeah, it feels really like the tooling ought to, you know, deal with that. Like when I was trying to convert that YAML to JSON, you would think it would be like, oh, this is a different kind of unit code. Let me just take care of that for you. That would be nice. All right, so the deal with Skaffold is Skaffold. We showed this a little bit earlier, so we won't go too nuts on it. But basically, it's a program I've already got installed, and the deal is you just create a scaffold.yaml file. I'm just going to put it right at the top, and then there's some boilerplate stuff up here, which I always have to look up. Basically, this is like the version and a couple other things. So I'll just grab like a simple getting started one. You see, yeah, so that, and we'll do the rest on our own. Maybe I'll leave that up just in case. So we've got an API version. That is fine, I think. Or they're on a different version of, I don't know what the version of Skaffold is right now, but it'll yell us if it's not working. And there's a couple different kind of top level things, but the main ones we want are build and deploy. We'll do deploy in a second. Build, you need to tell it about your artifacts. And then here, we basically give it a name, which is dub. So there's a lot of duplication found in Kubernetes type stuff. And then the context, and remember this is at the very root, so it's just going to be dub. And that's where we'll do the Docker build.
Is it name or image?
image. Good call. And this tabbed incorrectly.
I think that's correct, right? Because it would be underneath the artifacts.
Yeah, it's just, yeah. I think you can do it either way, but it seems to want to do it this way, which is fine. So that's it for building. So now actually if we do a scaffold dev, I think there's the scaffold render too. Oh, I'm down a level, try that again. So this is actually gonna try and spin it up. I should have just done the render, but that's all good. So it found our Docker, found dub, and it just did our build. So that's it. And so just like before, like if we go make a change to one of these files, it's gonna trigger a rebuild. So even stuff like, I think like adding a space or whatever, even will do it. Yep, so I just added a space and saved it, and now it's rebuilding our image, and it's gonna republish that to...
Well, no, we haven't done the deploy yet.
Right, yeah, so it's not doing it to Kubernetes, so it is building it locally. So if we look at like our Docker image, we should see that it's been built. Image ls. And it's going to supply its own tag, which is like the only kind of tricky bit here. So 30 seconds ago, we see dub, and there's the tag.
This is where the latest will bite us.
Yeah. Yep. And so we're going to handle that right now, because that's one of the biggest problems when working with Kubernetes lately. Hey, nice. We've gotten to the part I don't know about. Well, welcome. In the last 5 minutes of the stream will be useful for you.
3.5 hours later.
Exactly. So deploy. Let's go look at what this is. So I don't want kubectl though. I want something else.
We want Helm.
Releases. Yeah, we're doing Helm. And there's a couple different things it supports. Like it supports raw Kubernetes files. I forget what else.
But is it going to be deploy Helm then releases?
Yes. Good call. And then this will be an array. And it's like chart path, I think. Dub. But it's not, it's under charts and then dub. And you can tell it whether it's remote, true or not. It defaults to local. There is also the trick I mentioned is the artifact override, because we are because of this latest issue. Basically, Skaffold is building this tag and it's going to be a GUID, and that makes sure that it's unique every time. We don't have to worry about any sort of caching. Yeah, and yeah, I thought this was valid, but my plugin seems to hate that. I think it's artifact overrides, and I might need to look this up. But basically what we want to do is just kind of, Skaffold's got just kind of a thing built in here for overriding the image. And the way to make your life easier, they recommend, is basically having a single Helm variable. So that would be a change for us here. So if we look at charts, dub, under, just look at the deployment. So right now we've got multiple variables, and so you can have Helm override any and all of these variables. And so I don't really understand why they recommend only having one variable for image. I think you could also do the same thing with Helm with like set path, which is another option here. Deploy. Got a nice bit of documentation here. There we go. Oops, sorry, not kubectl. We're doing Helm. That's talking about the Helm. So here's talking about, we're basically with the
Were you looking for like what to call put there?
No, I was just kind of looking at the tagging. So this is how typically they, like a typical Helm chart is kind of structured. We've got the repo and the image name, which I combined, which makes sense. And then tag, the pool policy, but unfortunately, because of the way Skaffold continuously tags rebuilt images and hydrates Kubernetes resources, it doesn't know how to handle images defined in this way. So this is super important. Get Skaffold to work with Helm, your image needs to be defined directly as a Helm value in scaffold.yaml. So if you look at an example here, we've got release, we've got a name, which I missed that. Let me add that. Lots of duplication. Cool. I'm glad we haven't put you to sleep while you're like driving or something. Give artifact overrides, and now we pass image. I still don't understand why, but basically the deal is that Skaffold is smart enough to take this image that you give it, and it's going to append the build on it. So you're basically giving it like the stem, and it's going to add any prefixes or suffixes that it needs. So in this case, it's just www.
Yeah.
But this only works if over in here you get rid of, you basically just have a single variable. So values.image. And I'm going to change the pool policy to be separate. Which does mean making a change over here to our values. So basically I'm going to just name this www. And I'll put latest here. So I'm combining the image and the tag. And so this should make it so that Helm still works without any changes. And it also enables us to work with Skaffold.
Okay.
And just gonna take one last look around, and that's it, I think. So let's try it. So we have nothing running right now. And if we do Skaffold dev, it's gonna do the build if it needs it. And there we go. It's running. Now I didn't do the port forward. That's why we didn't see the green message there. So it's literally just running it, and you can go in and like kind of port forward. But we do kget pods. There we go. So it prefixed the pods with the name. So it kind of did things a little bit differently than how you would normally do. That's it. And hey, would you mind showing the right hand YAML file without the chat window? Oh yeah, sorry. My bad. I'll just move it over here. So what I did is in the values file, sorry, too far. Sorry, way too far. Okay, so originally we had it like this, where we had image and it was broken into repository, which was ill-named on my part. Image policy, a pool policy, and a tag. And what Skaffold was telling us is that it needs to have a single variable that combines the repository, the image, and the tag. And so basically what that means is just kind of having a single name for image, having it be www : and then whatever, basically whatever we had before. And Skaffold is going to basically set this whole thing. So it doesn't even matter what's in here. Skaffold doesn't care because it's going to wipe out this whole variable and pop in what it wants. That's just what it's set up to do. And then I did have to make a change for pool policy as well because I originally had it underneath image, which isn't going to work anymore. Does that make sense? And then over in the deployment, the only change was basically instead of me saying image.repository and image.tag, now it's just image. And I changed pool policy to just be pool policy instead of image.pool policy.
Very cool.
Yeah, and Skaffold, you can pass, like, you can do the same kind of stuff. So you can do any sort of, like, I think it's just set, and you can do set path type stuff. So if you don't override any variables manually, you could do it this way. But by having, kind of using their convention here on image, like this kind of one special feature, if we describe any one of these pods, we'll see that it's actually using a unique tag, which gets you around. All right. gets you around the latest problem. This latest is an anti-pattern and scaffold hashback. So check out that tag.
Sweet. So let's talk next steps.
Okay.
Okay, so I'm gonna definitely clean up my environment so that I can play along as we do this, because that was kind of disappointing. So I'll probably switch to Minikube instead of MicroK8s, and hopefully that'll resolve that. And then maybe we can pick back up with this, and we can add in a stateful set and maybe a API server.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, get a database going in there. And what was the other one you said? API server?
Yeah, I was thinking like maybe if we go like the 3-tier approach, like maybe because like right now we have that .NET, it's all combined in one.
Yep.
Right. But what if we were to break that apart? You know, make it more 3-tier-ish. And then what would be some other cool stuff that we would do? So, because we've already gone from nothing to Skaffold.
Yeah.
And we've shown how that could be different for prod versus local dev.
Man, I would love. There's all sorts of cool stuff we could do with. Let me add up. Getting Prometheus hooked up there to monitor our cluster. Also, just any of these tools. Let's see where to have. Any of these projects would be amazing. Incubating or graduating. You can see there's a ton, but Prometheus is actually one of these. So Prometheus and Grafana is not one of their projects. Jaeger, also Kubernetes is one of their projects. Helm is one of their projects. I didn't know that. But the one I keep coming back to is I would love to get Chaos Mesh working. I didn't realize Linkerd too. Like, man, there's a lot of stuff in here. That's a service mesh. I've never messed around. What's wrong with any of that? Yeah, I don't see Chaos Mesh.
So realistically though, what would our next? Do we want to just do maybe add in what would be thing? Because we could add in a stateful set, and that's kind of like a small iteration on what we've already done. Like that's not really that big. The adding in Prometheus and Grafana would be cool. Although we could get easily lost in like PromQL kind of stuff, you know what I'm saying? Maybe like the way you have it right there, we save that as like our goal for our next continuation of it.
Yeah.
You like that?
Yep. Next. Yeah, and I'll clean up the README and stuff after we break for lunch. Just kind of get it tidied up a little bit. But yeah, also anything you can think of that you might want to see, like I don't know, Jamie, Aaron, whatever, like anything you might want to do here. Be cool.
Yeah, so Mad Viking God asked about a small database, but that's what I was thinking about for that stateful set. We could like throw in like a Postgres SQL database.
Yeah, and totally. I think that's Mad Viking God saying you want to try and play along at home too. Definitely. I think we could get a bigger Zoom going on too. Like it'd be fun to mob program this thing. Some cool stuff.
Yeah. All right, man.
Yeah, it's been awesome.
Well, this was fun.
Yeah, thanks for hanging out. We're breaking records by far too on the stream. So, rock and roll. Woo.
It's what we do.
That's right. Sorry for all the technical issues, and thanks for sticking around. And I'll be back around later tonight, probably for some Factorio. Going game on. All right, see ya.
Later.
Oh, and don't forget, Game Jam. Game Jam stream.
All right.